To have you all here today. My name is Kiel Hendricks. I'm the VP Sales at ThinkData, and I'm here to talk a little bit about data and in the context of supply chain resiliency. Obviously, a topic that's getting a ton of attention and a great area for us to talk through and show you some of the ways in which we help customers navigate through the supply chain challenges of today. So first, real quick about ThinkData. Who are we? We were founded 8 years ago. We've got about 50 going on 60 employees. We're a Series A company out of Toronto, and we're very happy to be here today. We also have an office in London, UK, and we've got a few customers both across government as well as enterprise, and we're growing rapidly. So what do? We unlock the value of data to grow your business. That means connecting to data sources, driving critical insights, and making sure that we deliver data there where it needs to be. And no surprise, right? Like organizations increasingly are using more and more data, which means that there's more money flowing into the data space. Data is obviously exploding, but also data systems are becoming more complex. And that means that it is harder and harder to make sure that the money that's flowing into data and data management and data budgets is actually translating into a great return on investment. And if we pivot back to supply chains have internal data and also external data. So we're seeing the data market is exploding. There's more and more data. Increasingly, companies are data companies first and foremost. But now what we're seeing is like companies increasingly need to bring external data into their own data sets. And this is where things get really interesting, especially if you think about supply chains, because supply chains are challenged by external events. And we'll talk a little bit about what they are. And data can play this really amazing role in making this a much smoother part of the business and getting ahead of any potential disruptions that can be extremely costly, as you can see here from McKinsey's research. And there's a number of factors that we see impact supply chain. There's geopolitical events that are happening, right? Like whether, the sanctions, for example, or international relationships that change, embargoes, sanctions, you name it. These things can happen quite quickly and have massive impacts on supply chain. Pandemics, excuse me, obviously we're living through COVID, which we've seen impacts a number of different industries and areas more than others. But even just simple things like travel, cross-border travel, the rules of travel have changed, and some of these things may be temporary. Some of them have a lasting impact on supply chain and supply chain planning. And then there's weather, climate change, whether it's immediate weather events or maybe it's longer term changes that need to change and influence how we plan our supply chains. Climate change and weather are massively important factors. And again, we have increasingly great data on those as well. And then labor, we've seen everything from like strikes to convoys to other challenging situations that have impacted supply chains. And again, where possible, data can be put to great use to avoid those costly delays and maybe reroute things dynamically. But regardless, when these disruptions are happening, one thing that we see work well for our customers is the ability to adapt. And the way that we do that is by having this great telemetry into this world of external data, whether it is political, whether it is labor related, or whether it is pandemic related or otherwise. This data needs to feed into your organization in real time, overlaid with other data sources so that you can make better decisions faster and reduce risk and maximize revenue generating opportunities. So what does ThinkData do? Like, what do we bring to the table? We bring a enterprise-grade, best-in-class data catalog platform to the table. This allows companies to really discover data both within the walls of their own organization, but also beyond. It also allows companies to govern their data extremely well. And so we work with standard user access definitions like RBAC, but we really allow you to know what's there, manage your metadata, and at all times make sure that the data gets to where it needs to go. So people that need to have access to data know how to find it, they know who's responsible for the data, and they can activate with that data. And so The platform then also has enrichment capabilities built into it. So we've talked about supply chain as the use case of the day. There are obviously others, but supply chain resiliency is such an important topic. And with our data feed, right, we've talked about some of those important data areas. The data feed flows into the data platform. We ingest it, we QA it, and we make sure that the data is extremely accurate. And then it flows into, in this case, our supply chain resiliency platform that we've taken to market with our partners Palantir, that really then allows companies to be proactive around these disruptions, have intelligence, have insights, but also take action based on these important discoveries in the supply chain. And so, for example, that includes opportunities like, hey, our first line suppliers are not impacted by sanctions, for example, in Europe, but maybe the secondary suppliers are. And so we've got some amazing technology that allows you to get visibility into that secondary supply chain and allows you to take action where needed. And again, this leads to a number of great opportunities. We can reduce cost. We'll help you be more efficient on the operations side. We can help you prevent losses from these costly disruptions. And we can help you increase revenue, right? We can help you move faster and react faster. We can therefore also help you move faster than some of the competitors in the market, which obviously allows you to take advantage, for example, of suppliers, for example, that are in different locations that are going to book up quickly. And so really it becomes a matter of like who can reroute their supply chain in this use case faster and take advantage. Why do we think we're a good fit for CAE? Well, we're very excited about the digital twin, the solution that you're building with Echo, and we think that we can offer a number of amazing services to your platform there. Very specifically, we think that we can help you bring better data. We can help you use your data better, for example, weather patterns, and we can help you search, discover, and acquire data faster. So with that, thank you very much, and we look forward to continuing the conversation.